Hey everyone, it's Dion with Noodle Mac and welcome back to another video. And today we're making a good old Southern classic that's usually only left up to your grandma and aunties to make. Mac and cheese. Yes, that's right, we're making a good old classic mac and cheese. And it's like I said, usually when it comes to mac and cheese, it's really left up to like your grandma or aunties of the family to make it because they're usually the ones that know how to make it real good. But we can also make it good too. So I'm gonna show you two ways how to make a mac and cheese. Well, really, I'm just making two different mac and cheese. A regular ooey gooey, just regular plain mac and cheese. That's of course gonna be baked, and then we're making a lobster mac and cheese. That's right, we put a lobster inside this mac and cheese. And so I'm gonna walk you through the steps of course, cooking the noodles, making the cheese sauce for it using a basic roux, and then baking it in the oven. Usually left up to your grandmas and aunties because they know what they're doing and they don't gotta use eggs to make their sauce. That's right. I have a big gripe with people that put eggs in their mac and cheese. That's lazy, that's an abomination. No offense to anyone, but no. Mac and cheese, I'm sorry, like eggs, like how can eggs go in mac and cheese? I'm not trying to eat breakfast, I'm trying to eat mac and cheese. God. Yeah, all right, that's enough of me ranting, but now let's get to making this mac and cheese and let's get to boiling our noodles. And of course, obviously, you get your water to a rolling boil first, and I wanna know if this is just a Southern thing that people do or if people do it everywhere. But I was raised up being told when it comes to like cooking noodles or like elbow macaroni noodles or like spaghetti noodles or like whatever, add a little bit of oil to your water because it helps them from sticking inside the pot. I mean, of course, what keeps them from sticking is like constantly stirring them, shaking them on them. But I was raised up like, hey, adding oil to the pot helps keep them from sticking. Now, of course, second thing you need to add is a generous helping of salt. Seriously, salt your water because this adds flavor to the pasta noodles. So, decent amount of salt going in, a couple tablespoons. Once that in, you then stir in your elbow macaroni noodles. 1 pound box, as you can see. 1 pound box. Give it a good stir and let these cook for less than 10 minutes, for 8 to 10 minutes. You want them al dente. You don't want these overcooked. So I'll come back to you in 8 to 10 minutes. Once the noodles are all done cooking, you simply pour it out. Ooh, this is hot. Ooh, snap. Pour it out. And hey, it's good to invest in a pot like this that comes with a lid like this where you can strain things. Very helpful instead of trying to set up a bowl, set up a strainer, and then pour everything else. This is so much better. Noodles into the bowl. And let's get to working on this cheese sauce, okay? Now in a pot on medium heat, we're gonna add in 1 stick or half a cup of butter. And we're gonna start letting this melt down. Once all the butter is melted down, you're gonna then add in half a cup of all-purpose flour and stir that in, and we're just making a roux. And you're gonna let the roux cook for a couple minutes to get the flour taste out. Once the roux has cooked down, especially the flour taste out, you're gonna then add a combination of 3 cups whole milk and 1 cup heavy whipping cream, and slowly take your time adding it in. Do not just dump your milk completely in or you're gonna mess up the cheese sauce. So just take your time and work it in. And now let this cook until thickened. And the issue that a lot of people have is they are not patient when it comes to making the cheese sauce and letting it thicken up properly. You have to be patient with this and let it thicken up on its own. Whisk it to make sure that it don't burn and stick to the bottom of the pan, but you have to be patient with it, okay? Now, as you can see, being patient, it is now thick and it is at this point, you take it off the heat, and that's when you add in your cheese, because if you add in your cheese while it's still on the heat, the cheese won't melt properly. It's a combination of mozzarella and a mild cheddar. Because like I said, the first mac and cheese, we're keeping it nice and simple. So go ahead and start adding in handfuls of it and take your time mixing it in. And you're just gonna let the cheese do its work and melt on its own. We're gonna add in a little sour cream, or some folks like I like to put creme fraiche, but we're gonna add in sour cream to help lighten it up some. So 2 tablespoons of that. Mix it in. And also, so if you ever find your cheese sauce being too thick for your liking, just add in some more milk or heavy whipping cream to loosen it up and you'll be good. And see how it's all nice and runny. I added a little bit more cream to it, and that's the consistency that you want. And now let's season it up. You always add your seasoning once the cheese is put in, because you don't want to add your seasonings too early, because it can mess with the flavors. Because it's like I said, you already salted the pasta from your boiling. The cheese has its own flavors. You always season at the end to get it to where you like it. So of course, generous amounts of salt and pepper. That looks like enough to you, Brittany?
Looks like good enough.
Just a little bit of smoked paprika. Like I said, this is a southern baked mac and cheese. So down here, southern style, we like to season our mac and cheese.
Smoke it.
A little bit of granulated onion. And each amount I'm doing is about 1 to 2 tablespoons. Like I said, it's all to your preferred taste. And a little granulated garlic. Now you just stir that all together. What I like to do is I'll take some of the cheese mixture and I'll mix it in to the macaroni noodles and give that a stir, because how some people like to do their mac and cheese, they like to layer it. They'll do the macaroni noodles, then cheese, then noodles, then cheese again. I like to go ahead and mix up the cheese into noodles, then mix in the cheese sauce, and when I pour it all in and bake it together, it comes out super cheesy. All right, so pour in this cheese sauce, give it a good mix. Brittany. Yeah.
See, now that sound right there already lets you know they make the cheese good.
All right, now let's go ahead and put this into a baking dish. Get your preferred baking dish, and you can either use non-stick spray or you can rub it down in butter. We're gonna use non-stick spray for this, so. Nice little coat. And now we're gonna pour in the mac and cheese. Or just fill it in like this, you know. And now once the mac and cheese is all in, you take a handful of this cheese and you just spread it on top to give it a nice top layer of cheese while it's baking. Then you put it into an oven at 375 degrees until the top of the cheese is golden brown and melting. Remember, like I said, we're doing 2 mac and cheeses. We're gonna do the regular mac and cheese, which is in the oven, and now we're gonna get the other mac and cheese ready, which is gonna be the lobster mac and cheese. And instead, this time it's gonna have 3 cheeses: the mozzarella, the cheddar, and then my third cheese, which is my favorite personal cheese, smoked Gouda. And like I said, I'm using my favorite cheese, smoked Gouda. So of course we're gonna go ahead and shred that on down. Okay, now you take your leftover cheese sauce from earlier and you add the 3 cheese mixture to it, the smoked Gouda, mozzarella, and cheddar to it, and just melt it on back down. And so as you can see, you go ahead and give it a stir, get it all back mixed in, get it nice and creamy and wet. Also have 2 lobster tails that I bought from the grocery store, and as you can see, I'm taking one to get ready to scoop out the inside so that I can go ahead and get ready to chop it up. And this chopped up lobster is what's gonna go inside our lobster mac and cheese once I cook it down. So you take out that meat, you chop it up, and you give it a very, very good chopping. They don't gotta be real big chunks, but very decent sized chunks that's gonna be able to show throughout the mac and cheese. You go ahead, dump the lobster inside a skillet, heat it to medium with 2 tablespoons of butter. You go ahead, hit it with that salt and pepper, you know, seasoning real good. Cook it on through. We're not overcooking the lobster, we're just cooking it through. Go ahead and hit that pan with some white wine, some Chardonnay, cook that on down. And then Once the lobster is all cooked, you're gonna get ready to pour your cheese sauce back over your mac and cheese noodles. Just look at that, y'all. Just look at that. Ooh. Go ahead and mix that all together. And then once it's mixed together, you're going to take your cooked lobster that you cooked down in the butter and wine and add it to your mac and cheese noodles with the cheese sauce. And then once that all mixed, you're going to add it to another baking dish. And as you can see, I didn't have another baking dish, but I did have a pan, okay? Get off my back. I'm making it work. But go ahead, and once you add that all to the pan, you're going to get ready to cover it with some more of that 3 cheese mixture of that mozzarella, cheddar, and smoked Gouda. And then you're going to hit it with some of the cheese sauce. Go ahead and spoon that on top, and then you hit it again with more of the 3 cheese mixture. And we're going to get ready to go ahead and pop this into the oven so it can come out the same time as the other baked mac and cheese. And as you can see, the first mac and cheese is already out the oven, all golden brown and delicious, bubbling. And now the second mac and cheese is out, the lobster mac and cheese. And as you can see, to make it look fancy, to like really show off that it's lobster mac and cheese, the other lobster tail I cut in half and I cooked in 2 to place on top. And now it's done. Let's eat. Well, and there you have it. Both mac and cheeses all done. Got the regular creamy mac and cheese, and then we got the smoked Gouda lobster mac and cheese. It's time to dig into it. You ready, Brittany?
I'm ready.
You ready, Rich?
Si, senor.
Let's get to it. Got T. What the hang time? Got my coworker, and y'all, this is my coworker Brittany. She can't even be in the video. Brittany be bullying me at work. And Rich, like, playing with the spoon.
Yes, so late.
All right. And everybody dig into these mac and cheese. Well, they kind of dig into that one, but that's for the thumbnail. Here he go again with this plate. All right, y'all go ahead and dig in.
Well, this spoon hasn't been touched by anything. So
Ooh, you heard that? Do it again. Do it again.
Cheese it.
Make that noise again.
Ooh, okay, I'm ready to get some of that one. All right.
the cheese pool.
Okay, I'm ready to get some of that one right there. This thing just
Ooh.
That's what I'm talking
Hold on, Britt.
about.
Hold on, Britt. Hold on. Hold that. Ooh.
Hello.
Ooh. It's the
I want
noises.
some of that. Okay.
The noise is for me.
It's the goose goose.
Look, don't mind me. I'm just.
Got your fingers all in.
I was trying to catch it. It's the lobster.
Yes, that's the lobster mac and cheese.
Yeah, shot in the name. Yes, Lord.
It's the lobster for me.
Yes. Yes, we just gonna praise him.
Yes, sir.
That's what I'm talking about.
Just the regular.
Yes, Father.
I'm still on the lobster right quick.
Haven't tasted a bad dish yet. Oh, sure. Haven't tasted
Yeah, I
anything.
gotta get that lobster. Yeah, I gotta get a piece of that lobster right there.
I'm just gonna go on and take them out of there then.
Just go ahead and take it.
Good old Southern baked mac and cheese without using eggs. I hate folks that use eggs.
Tell Ariel.
Oh, you didn't use eggs?
Tell Ariel.
No, I never use eggs.
Who puts eggs in the mac and See, y'all need to go give it y'all grandmamas and learn not to put an egg in the mac and cheese. Y'all wrong for that one.
Oh, what's that face, Rich?
Use a bad motherfucker.
You know, when you come from a house of cooks, we'll just tell you something different. This one got me. This one got me.
So, in y'all's official opinion, what y'all think of the mac and cheeses?
This the one. That's the one. But they both, yes. They're
Both.
good.
I
Wonderful.
love both of them.
And it's Rich just... That's how you know it's good.
Just let him have his moment.
I just miss this greatness.
But yeah, they enjoy both mac and cheeses, especially the smoked Gouda lobster mac and cheese.
Yes, Lord.
Well, all right, y'all. They got me trying my own food because, as y'all know, I usually don't eat my own food. I make them eat it. Let's go.
Oh, yeah.
Oh my God.
Go regular baked mac.
And the results are.
No, what's the happy dance that supposed to be doing? All right. Now the lobster mac. Let's see if I put my own foot in here to impress myself. Y'all, I did the damn thing with this.